So Harry,
Yes, neighbor.
yes, let's reframe the conversation for those persons who are joining us late. The fact of the matter, Harry, is that here is Jamaica, an emerging small democracy, just coming out of a devastating hurricane. A government responded brilliantly, kept the lights on, kept water on, kept the country going. Those are issues that ought to be focused on, Harry. Those are things that must be highlighted. Those are things that must be kept in the eyes of the public. Am I not correct?
You are correct, neighbor. 100% correct. Right. In fact, right, Mister Lutfa Damayani, which is the article I spoke about, neighbor,
Yes.
had a critical part in it that says it is essential to maintain journalism that is neutral, fact-based,
Yes.
and committed to the public interest.
Uh-huh.
The media, this is the kicker part. The media also functions as a check and balance, especially when the political opposition is weak.
Uh-huh.
And that is 100% applicable to Jamaica at this moment.
It is our reality.
It is what we're going through, right? But instead of, having that level of being committed to the neutral and the factual based information that is in the public's interest, in the people's interest, we're not getting that from the media itself, right? And as such, this is at one point, this is an opportunity because our listeners would have heard of us speaking about, the opposition getting layups for months upon months after Melissa. This is a layup for the media to step up and act in its capacity to help hold the current government accountable. But what we're getting is political allegiances, we're getting distractions, we're getting mediocre publications that doesn't advance the people's knowledge as to what their recovery will look like, right? Because I've not seen, apart from that Capri publication, neighbor, right? I've not seen any media house gone into the budget. They've not said anything about it. In fact, not even the opposition has taken the opportunity to challenge anything within it. And as such, neighbor, this whole distraction and thing, whether it be for profits or for political points, holds no water to where the country is currently and where we should be going. And that is massive. I hear you speak in terms of Spanish Town, and I passed through there yesterday, neighbor. Don't forget the new state-of-the-art police station that's also coming.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So, and these are things where, when you look at it, a new police station will help us when it comes down to crime, right? In one of the most heated cities, which is known in Jamaica. We're also getting technically a brand new hospital, which healthcare persons have been calling for quite a while. These things are answers, right, to questions being asked. These are responses to the cries decades ago by the people of Jamaica. These cries are being answered with the necessary infrastructure that should have been there before this administration, right? And as such, the media is not pushing this because it doesn't fit them. It doesn't allow them to make money, right? And it also doesn't allow them to have a control over the minds of the people as well. So when we look at it, these are the things we have to focus on and help our fellow Jamaicans, both locally and overseas. Specifically, I'd want to say locally, because they're the ones who were most hit. They're the ones who feel it, especially in the West. And they should want to be in the know as to how their lives will be impacted going forward. How can they get information, vital information, to equip themselves with the necessary, whether it be academia, intellects, skill sets, to help rebuild, to help be a part of the future that is coming. That is the conversation that the media should be pretty much coining, putting out there, helping the people to shape, and not this narrative about a man and stupidity. Those things are above the Jamaica that we want to create, and that creation starts now.
Yes. I put it to you, Harry, maybe even provocatively, that it is in the interest of the opposition to sustain and maintain this distraction, because there are so many positives happening in Jamaica. And therefore, if the people get into this positive, acclimatized positiveness, that it hurts the opposition. It probably is a deliberate strategy for the opposition, and also the story coming out of from the president of the JTA, that it may very well be propaganda, a part of the distraction strategy.
It is, neighbor. It is not even probable. I'm not even going to be reserved to say, to put it in a probability. It is exactly that, right? Because when we look at it and we go by the law of elimination, who stands to benefit the most from it? Who becomes relevant from a story like this? Who is affiliated with the political party? Who are the surrogates that are there? All fingers pointing a neighbor. They say when you're pointing, you should use your entire hand and point, because when you point one finger, there's 3 or 4 fingers pointing back at you.
Yes.
Everything points to the opposition, because after that budget reading and seeing how poor they have done, not by my scoring, because I know my scoring has been controversial, but the reality of it is that they are dirt poor. It is not one that is infitting for what has happened regarding after Melissa. It is not one that is even applicable to the Jamaica that we're building. So the opposition right now seem like they're out of their depth. And in order to be relevant and to be considered, right, they will, at any length and breadth of Jamaica, they will go that great extent, even if it means hurting the mindset of the very people that they should be looking to advance. Because the truth is, if the people buys into this positive aspect, into this seeking for the information to advance themselves from a individual level to a community-based level and higher, they cannot entice the people of Jamaica again, and also they run the risk as to not even being an option, much as to be viable at the polls, because we know what their strategy has been for quite a while, and they don't seem to want to adapt and adopt where Jamaica is going. The principles, the policies, the standards that are required to move us forward. And as such, they will play backhand, they'll give backhand compliments, very few that they do give, and they will always want to paint a picture as if the government is lying, or that government is doing it to suit something else, right? And that is exposing them even more.
Yes. Okay. Harry, the people though are not passive actors here. But how is it, do you think, that we should guide our people to understand what it is that they are to pay attention to, what is it they are to listen to, how they are to conduct themselves in this environment that is clearly competing for their attention and for their minds?
Well, one of the easiest things to do, neighbor, and it takes discipline, right, is to listen to more than one perspective on the matter, right? That in itself helps you to evaluate. In fact, to be provocative, because I used to do this when I was much younger. I would deliberately go out of my way, neighbor, to listen to arguments against and listen to arguments for, and then listen to what the neutrals say. Then I'll proceed with my research to know where the real information lies. Because you do that to eliminate your natural bias as a human being, right? When you're having a discussion, it is almost innate that the position is to be that is either we agree, or we agree to disagree, or we'll never see eye to eye. But a stance has to be whether in alignment or against. That is almost innate how conversations are. Now, That isn't to say we should be tribalistic and always be looking out for the negatives. But the truth of the matter is you need to have as much information as possible to come to a sensible decision, to also shape a good enough perspective. Because if we look at how, neighbor, we are socialized, how we grow up, from a toddler, you imitate what you see around you. Then naturally you adapt to the environment, so your emotions regulate to it. And as you change from different environments, you evolve. You cannot make a decision and come to a conclusion based on one piece of information. So I will challenge everybody listening and hearing our voices far and wide. Do one of the most important things that humans have always done, and that is challenge what is in front of them. Go and seek the information. Don't take everything at surface level. Challenge your own self to get this information. We're in a digital age. It's easier than ever before. No human in mankind, no era have ever had it this easy to get access to information. Now, what you do with that information afterwards is to narrow it down, because this information will be impactful to you, your country, and those who are coming after you. So you have to challenge yourself to want better for yourself and then go forward. And that is how you'll always challenge everything. It doesn't matter if you naturally have a bias, you still want to, when you're having a conversation, you have enough information to have a very informed conversation, a very informed discussion, and then you can, who knows, change a few person's mind, even surprise yourself with what you found and how you can move forward. But we have to, as a people, be willing to challenge what is put out to us so we can find the right information. Because Jamaicans in a neighbor, we have a natural inclination to challenge laws and those things. Why can't we challenge the very information that is pushed down our throats from the media?
Quite true. Quite true.